Hi students, this is Mr. Yao. In this video, we're going to talk about homework question 8 in your 5.5c Trig Story Problem assignment. So here's question number 8. A plane is flying 2,000 feet above sea level towards a mountain as shown. The pilot observed the top of the mountain to be alpha equals 17 degrees above the horizon. So you can see right here, this is 17 degrees. And that is pointing to the top of the mountain. Then immediately flies the plane at an angle of beta equals 21 degrees. So this is 21 degrees above horizon, above horizontal. The airspeed of the plane is 100 miles per hour. After 5 minutes, the plane is directly above the top of the mountain. And the question is asking, how high is the plane above the top of the mountain when it passes over? And what is the height of the mountain? So two parts. The first part, how high is the plane above, is asking for this little portion. And then the second part of the question is the height of the mountain. That's from here all the way down. So it's asking for this portion. So let's dissect this question. First, the question did mention 100 miles per hour, but it's actually saying after 5 minutes, and it's airspeed. So we do need to convert that and calculate that distance first. So 100 miles per hour is the same as 100 miles per hour. Okay, first we're going to convert it to 100 miles per minute. So 100 miles, but each hour is actually 60 minutes. So that's basically 5/3 miles per minute. Okay, next we're going to need to change from 5 miles into feet. Each mile is, so 1 mile is going to be 5,280 feet. Okay, so we're going to need to multiply that 5 by 5,280. So 5 mile is actually 5 times 5,280 feet, and then over 3 minutes. If you simplify that, it's going to give you 8,800 feet per minute. And then the question said 5 minutes, so 8,800 times 5 minutes, that is going to be 4,400 feet. Since 8,800 is feet per minute, and the 5 is minute, so it's going to be just the feet. And that is the airspeed, so it's actually going to be the distance that the plane flies in 5 minutes, which is this portion right above. So this line right here is going to be 44,000. Now, for this question, you actually can see two right triangles, which means there's a very important side. It's right here. So in order to move from the bigger triangle, which is the one with the 21 degree beta, into the smaller triangle, which is the one that has the 17 degree, which is alpha, you actually have to find this line because that's the line, that's the side that they actually share. So first, let's deal with the bigger triangle. Well, actually, before we get to the bigger triangle, let's think about how we can find both parts that the question is asking. In order to find the height of the mountain, we already know this portion is going to be 2,000. So we're actually looking for this portion right here, which is actually the one side in the smaller triangle. As for the difference between the mountain and the plain, well, in order to find the difference, if you know the purple portion, if you know how high the mountain is above 2,000 feet, and if you can actually find this portion, then you can just use the difference to calculate how high the plane is above the mountain. And in order to calculate this whole thing is going to be in the bigger triangle. So let's actually separate the two triangles. One triangle is going to be 21 degrees. So that's beta equals 21 degrees. And the hypotenuse is 44000. So first, that's a terrible drawing. So let me make it a bit more like a right angle. Okay. So in the first thing, we're going to need to find this opposite side and the adjacent side. So the opposite side is right here. And this is the adjacent side I'm referring to. And that adjacent side is being shared by the two triangles. So in order to find the opposite, we're going to need to use sine. So sine 21 degrees That is opposite over 44000. And cosine, well, let's actually calculate that. Multiply both sides by 44,000. So opposite is actually 44,000 times sine 21 degrees, which is going to give you 15768.18978. I'm just writing down all the digits from the calculator and then round my final answer. Okay, next, if you want to find the adjacent, that would be cosine 21 degrees, and that is adjacent over 44000. So the adjacent side is 44000 times cosine 21 degrees. If you put in your calculator, that's 41077.53877 feet. There you go. So we found the adjacent side and the opposite side. Next, let's actually move into the smaller triangle, which has the 17-degree angle, which is right here. So let me draw a smaller triangle. It's going to be a slightly lower. Okay. And this is going to be alpha this time, which is 17 degrees. We actually don't know that side, so we're not going to actually do anything about it. But we did just find the adjacent, because the adjacent is the side that they actually share. So adjacent is right here, 41077.53877. And now we need to actually find the opposite in the smaller triangle. That's actually going to be the part we need to answer both questions. Since I already used O for the previous one, let's just say this one is O2. In order to find that, we know the adjacent side. We're actually going to use a tangent. So tangent alpha is the opposite this time over the adjacent, which is 41077.53877. Okay, I'm going to use multiply both sides with that number. So my opposite side this time is going to be, well, alpha is actually a 17 degree. Okay, so it's going to be 41077.53877 times tangent 17 degrees. And that is going to give us 12558.66392 feet. I'm just writing down all the digits so I can calculate them and round later. Okay. Now we found the purple portion and the red portion. In order to answer the question, first, how high is the plane above the top of the mountain? That would be the difference between these two numbers that I found. Because this is how high the plane is above 2,000 feet. And this number is how high the mountain is above 2,000 feet. Okay, so I'm going to subtract them, and that's going to give me the difference. Plane above mountain. So 15768.18978 minus 12558.66392. And that's going to give us 3209. Let's actually round this time. Let's round to the nearest 10th. Actually, should be 10th. So it's 3209.5 feet. As for the actual height of the mountain, well, the purple portion is going to be how high the mountain is above 2,000 feet. So we just need to use that number at 2,000. So it's going to be 12558.66392 plus 2,000. The answer is going to be 558. Don't forget to round now. 0.7 feet. So these are the two answers that actually we need. There you go. That's question 8 in your assignment. Thank you.